It's just one of those days where I got nothing done. Started out this morning. I unloaded the load of logs here from last night because when I got home it was dark, and the lights on that new Serco loader I've already quit working, along with some other issues we've had on it, but neither here nor there, I don't guess. But so I unloaded first thing this morning. Then I went to hook up to the eager beaver back there, and I'll show you real quick. So I went to hook up to the trailer, and I'm still hooked up, but one glad hand, this thing broke right there right when I went to hook up. So I've got and these hoses, you know, from being out in the elements, they get old, they get brittle. So I actually went and bought 2 new hoses, 2 new glad hands. I'm just going to replace it all. Why not? You know, it's a pretty cheap fix, all things considered, compared to a lot of the things we have to deal with anymore. So we got like a, you know, $100 in hoses and glad hands. So my buddy John's coming out to do that here in just a bit. I've got the Mac fired up. Which one of you guys needs to buy that truck? That's a good truck. I'll be honest, I like that. If I could take that Serco loader right there and put it on this truck, I would do it in a heartbeat. That is a much better loader. I know they're both 8500s. I know they are. That one's a 24-foot boom. This is a 22-foot boom. Both got extended booms on them. But that is a much better loader. I don't know what the difference is. There's something to do with the pumps on it, because this pump on this loader, it will just not do what that one there will. That's just a better loader. Anyway, while Johnny's fixing that, I've actually got a flatbed coming in late to load. There's a stack of walnut up there, some tag logs that are heading back to Ohio or Indiana, one or the other. I think it's Ohio. So I'm gonna load them with the Mac. And this is really the first time both trucks have been at the same place, the same time, since they've both been working. This empty spot right here, I've got my other pintle hitch trailer that usually parks right into here. There's my 4-in-1 bucket sitting there kind of off the side. I've got the brush grapple on the job. That H model will hopefully be leaving in the morning on this trailer going to Ash Grove. Now, I was going to take the other H, but I decided just to take this one. In all honesty, I like hauling this one a little better. This has the dueling rings on it. They're both 30.5s on both skidders, but those there they're not as offset. They actually set in towards the machine a little more. So when you're hauling, it's a little more friendly because you're not as wide and sticking out. And even though the Beaver here handles it just fine, and so does the Western Star with the Detroit and the Allison automatic, it's still running wide, just a pain. I mean, it is an absolute pain. I see Brandon come over here earlier and he said I put a dent in this tank. And I see there now, I hadn't noticed that. Who knows? This tank's not used. It's an empty tank. Originally, this is the hydraulic tank for the loader, but I like the in-frame tanks. So we'll take that off. We're actually putting a toolbox there. The guys at TAG called me the other day to let me know my toolbox was in. So that's on the to-do list, among with so many other things. It seems like I had something else. Oh yeah, along with what I was saying about the loader here. This Serco, we've just not had the luck with it like we have this one here. This 21 model loader has just been a better loader than this 22 model. We had a bad thermostat. Of course, that was running the battery dead on the truck because the cooling fans were staying on. For some reason, they've got that hot wired where it would just run all hours of the night. So we finally got that. They actually sent us the piece to do it, mailed it to it, our dealer did. But yeah, like I said in the beginning, the loader looked terrible when it was put on. It looked like it had been drug through the rocks and the gravel. My lights have quit working on it, which is a pain because we do work into the night a lot, and that's an issue that definitely has to be addressed. Up. So it's just one thing after another. It always is. The more equipment you have, the more problems you have. That's why somebody needs to buy that 548. Somebody needs to buy the old one-stack Mac here. And I love the Mac. Don't get me wrong, I do, but I really like this Western Star too. I'm not gonna lie, it feels kind of odd being back in the Mac. Just a lot different feel being on this truck. Of course, in the Mac, I keep the You know, I once was a Peterbilt driver, so in my Mac I keep the seat aired all the way to the ground where I barely look over the dash here. Like a super trucker. The Star just kind of seems like it sets up a little higher. Somebody made the comment yesterday about being stuck. If we were in the Mac, we wouldn't have got stuck. I don't know about that. I've had this Mac stuck before too, so they all get stuck. I mean, when they go down, they go down, and it doesn't take a whole lot to go down, especially when that front end gets down just a little bit. You're trying to push mud. They just don't work too well. But all honesty, the Western Star goes really, really well, especially with the way the suspension system's set up on it with the automatic transmission. There's no trying to slip the clutch to try to crawl out of somewhere or something like that. You just kind of ease into it and go, and you can play with the transmission settings on it, on the automatic, where you can keep it in a gear, you can shift it manually. Again, it's just like driving, it's like driving my Ram or my F554s. It's pretty much just kind of the same principle, except instead of a shifter, you're just twisting a knob into forward, but you still mash on the gas and go. I do like the truck. I honestly we'll probably have another one probably sooner than later. I really like this Western Star. Don't get me wrong, I love this Mac. I love my Granite. But when you're going from 370 horsepower, which all things considered in 2007 here, that was a good amount of horsepower. But when you get into 505 horsepower, that's a big difference. It really is. It's just it's a lot nicer. Just I don't know. I like it a lot. You know, to each their own. Like I said, I've still got a 362 cab over Peterbilt. I've got a T800 Kenworth. I've got this Mac Granite. Dad's got his Mac Superliner that's currently for sale as well, and so is this Mac Granite. Of course, my 362 Peterbilt's for sale. My T800 Kenworth's for sale. I've got too much stuff. I got to where I just kind of acquired. Well, it gets to where you've got too much. You've got stuff that you don't use. It's just sitting around. Like for us, a lot of it's stuff we're paying insurance on every month, but we're not using it. That's a lot of money that just for no reason. I'm never going to use that 362. I'm never going to use it. The hopper with it, I'm never going to use that hopper either. It was fun for a short time. I had crazy ideas with it, but you know, like my 379, I sold it. I hadn't planned on selling it, but a guy made me a sensational offer, and I couldn't say no to it. Actually, I kind of shot my mouth off, and he said, "Let me get you a check." And well, the rest is history. But either way, the same with this Mac. It's a good truck. I know some people are like, "Well, keep it for a backup." I don't need a backup. You know, the whole goal is to try to keep your expenses down as much as possible. You know, insurance for this, full coverage insurance for this Mac truck, especially on a logging policy, it's a lot of money every month, especially for something you're not going to use all the time. We don't need it that bad. I just need to let this thing go. Same with that 548 grapple skidder over there. We had one kid come look at it last week from here in southeast Missouri. Seemed like a great kid. I really thought he was going to bite on it. I hadn't heard nothing back from him yet. My 540B. You guys will be seeing it here in the next week. We need to find it a home. We've just got too much surplus stuff. I do. My dad does. We both do. We've got a lot of this stuff that we don't need. Even like having two 648s. Yeah, it's nice having two 648s. It really is. But we could probably get by with just one 648 and a 548 G3. I don't know. It's nice having the stuff with cab heat and air. It definitely makes the days go by better. But that's that. Long story short, we need to liquidate some stuff. So this truck should be pulling at any time, and then we're going to ease up there. We'll pick some logs on him. Walking the old dog. Like remember how to shift gears. I don't like riding a bike. Up. It's getting pointed in the right direction there. We'll go ahead good looking load. I'd like to have them logs to run through again, but that load stacked on there nice. Everything looks smooth. Good driver. Good driver makes all the difference in the world, man. What you'd heard about the little accident we had here with the other